So T-Bone, how did you pick the Halloween night cryptid for this episode? Let's dive into it, shall we?
Welcome to Rolling with T-Bone presents the Cryptids of North America. I hope you enjoy.
So I thought where better to start tonight's episode of Cryptids of North America, being as how this is the last one in the series. I thought, what better ideal than to just circle back to where it all began. So that's what I did. So welcome in, guys. If you are new here, my name's T-Bone, and you have found us at a very exciting time in the history of Rolling with T-Bone. I came back to where this all began, and of course you'll see the trees have shed their leaves and the fall is in the air. Now, I know it's daylight and I know this is Halloween night, but it is Halloween. If you don't believe me, look outside, it's Halloween. But if you are new here, I shoot motorcycle related content, and I do shoot, as you're about to see, any kind of content. And as I said, if you just now found us, you found us at a very interesting time. Meaning, you found us during a very special series. And guys, it's hard to think, sitting here now, that this journey that you and I have been on together began over 6 months ago in this exact location. Man, what a journey we've been on. We've met the Mothman. We've been to Pennsylvania, West Virginia. We've met the Beast of Bray Road. We met that devil in Jersey. We've been to the Pacific Northwest and all over this country looking for Sasquatch. And now, Halloween night, we've landed for the crescendo. Episode 5. So, T-Bone, how did you choose tonight's cryptid? Well, I think after I explain it, you'll understand exactly how I arrived at tonight's cryptid being custom made for Halloween. So what if I told you that there was a creature, not only in North America, but around the world, that comes out at nighttime and flies around in the sky looking for victims? Not just any kind of victims. It looks for any kind that has blood. And as it flies around, it uses sonar to gauge where it's at. And after it selects its victims, it peacefully lands on them, and with precision injects 2 teeth that are just like hypodermic needles, and it drinks their blood. And the victims can be cattle, horse, human. You would say that's impossible, T-Bone, but we know that it's not impossible because we know bats exist. So if a bat flying around isn't enough to strike your primal fear, then what happened to the bat next will really get your primal fear going. So the bat got an overhaul. In 1897, a gentleman named Bram Stoker wrote a book. And in this book, he captured the essence of primal fear. The book was called Dracula. And the story told of a man who lived in a place called Transylvania who had a thirst for human blood. In fact, he had to have it to live. If this character from Transylvania named Dracula bit you and he didn't drink all your blood and kill you, then you would turn into a vampire yourself. Because that's what Dracula called him. That's what Dracula was called, was a vampire. And like I said, if the primal fear of a creature flying around sinking its fangs into you wasn't bad enough, the primal fear of a man doing it, well, that's even worse. But you say, all right, T-Bone, yeah, but Dracula is a movie monster. He came from the imagination of Bram Stoker. Not necessarily. What if I told you that Mr. Stoker based his character on a real life human being, a man who actually existed? That's right. In the 15th century, there was a man lived called Vlad Dracula. And he lived in the country of Romania, and he was a ruler in his country. And he had the reputation of being ferocious and unforgiving as a ruler. It's rumored that Vlad Dracula killed 40,000 to 100,000 Saxons with his own hands. And he spilled their blood, and rumor is he drank their blood. And one of the scarier things about Vlad was it wasn't just the fact that he was a murderer or a fearless, ruthless warrior, but his torture, well, his torture left something else. It's said that Vlad would run a stick through his victims, impaling them, sticking them in the ground for his enemies to see. And they said that it wasn't just for his men victims, but that he would also torture women and children the same way. He called himself Vlad, the son of the dragon. But history remembers him as Vlad the Impaler, a real character, a real man who lived in the 15th century in Romania. That puts a different spin on things, don't it? So T-Bone, what could Dracula, Vlad the Impaler, and a bat have in common with tonight's cryptid? Well, this is the Halloween episode, so I would say it has everything to do with tonight's cryptid. And by that I mean tonight's cryptid, the name literally translates to the goat sucker, because that's how it was found and discovered, was that it was drinking the blood out of farm animals like goats and chickens. So, as we get ready to get on the road and talk about this Halloween night cryptid, thank you for coming along with me on this adventure. And I hope you enjoy this. So, ladies and gentlemen, mesdames and messieurs, senores and senoritas, wherever you're watching around the world, I proudly and humbly present for your consideration the cryptid whose name literally translates to goat sucker. I'm talking about none other than El Chupacabra. Guys, here we are. Welcome to leaves being blown out in the road. Jeez, really, guy, on the Halloween you're going to treat T-Bone this way by blowing trash all over the damn road? Seriously? Yeah, you know you fucked up. Sorry, excuse my language. Sorry about that. I'll try to cut that out. So I know the sun's shining. T-Bone, it's Halloween night. The sun's shining. What's wrong? It's Halloween. Trust me. Look out your window. Oh man, guys. Episode 5, El Chupacabra, the goat sucker. Man, we have went on a ride, guys, with this series. We have been to Pennsylvania and visited the Mothman. We have been to Bray Road and saw the Wolfman. We have been to New Jersey and visited the devil. We've been all over the Pacific Northwest in search of Sasquatch. Now we're going to go south of the border where the legend of El Chupacabra began. Now, in the opening, you heard me talk about why I thought that El Chupacabra is the heavyweight champion of Halloween, and why he became the cryptid for the Halloween episode of Rolling with T-Bone Presents Cryptids of North America. Because this cryptid, guys, unlike any of the other ones in this series, plays on your primal fear. Now, what do I mean when I say he plays on your primal fear? Well, the primal fear of something attacking you and having a specific reason for attacking you. Now, when animals attack, usually they attack out of hunger, or they're going on the defense against you or something like that. But to have something to attack you just because it wants to drink your blood, that plays on a different kind of fear. And that's why when Bram Stoker wrote Dracula, and he based it off Vlad the Impaler, that's why over these years, decades, since 1897, over 100 years, that Dracula has been in play. And he is consistently rated the best Halloween monster, because he plays on a primal fear. He's not just something that wants to rip you apart. He wants to drink your blood. And of course, with Dracula, drinking your blood can turn you into a vampire. That plays on a fear where you lose your soul. And of course, that fear being a primal fear, it's that something is attacking you with a specific purpose, like a bat landing on livestock drinking its blood. The goat sucker has a specific reason. Now, of course, I talk about El Chupacabra, and I'm going to tell you something, guys. There is no middle of the road with this particular cryptid. People either absolutely believe in him or they absolutely do not believe in him. There is no middle ground. It's either one way or the other. Now, those who do believe have to take into account in their beliefs that this is on my list so far. This is the youngest cryptid, meaning there's just not a whole lot of history on him. He was first talked about in the South Americas, Venezuela, Puerto Rico, Lower Mexico, as far back as the 1970s as his dated history goes. But El Chupacabra actually was not found in this country until 1995. So that makes him the youngest cryptid on this list. So what happened was a farmer on the Mexican-United States border, more on the U.S. is why he made the list of North American cryptids, came out one morning to find that his goats and his chickens had all been killed, but not maliciously torn apart or shredded or body parts laying all over the place. They were simply dead, and when they were investigated, it was found that they had been drained of all their blood. That's where the primal fear kicked in, because now you've got this poor farmer who has lost his livestock to something that has drunk its blood. Their first fear becomes, okay, if it will do this to my livestock, will it in turn do it to me? Well, meaning, will it drink my blood? Will it attack me? Will it attack my family, my wife, my kids? And that's where the playing with the primal fear becomes relevant. But you know, the reports of the Chupacabra descriptions vary, and you'll understand what I mean for that in just a second. Now, what I mean by that is that they vary. Is the first reports are that basically they would place the Chupacabra in the canine family, and the way they described him in the canine family is that he would look like either a coyote or a wolf or even a domestic dog with a sorry guys, I'm telling you, this time of the year, stuff gets in the air. Sorry about that. Woo. But he would be described as having mange. And of course, we've all seen dogs and cats with the mange, and we know what the skin looks like. The skin becomes very visible. It becomes leathery and just unhealthy looking, and all the hair falls out. Well, this is what the first reports of the chupacabra told. That was from some people, but now some people were seeing something absolutely totally different. They were seeing a creature that was on all fours like a canine, but that was the only resemblance it had to a canine, because some reported a creature with reptilian skin, meaning it had scales, big spikes that stuck out along its back and the top of its head, big red eyes, and a 7 to 8 inch long tongue that was deformed, which is what they considered to be how it drank the blood from its victims. Now, that description of the, and I'm not trying to get you guys into the world of fantasy, and I'm not trying to get you guys into the world of conspiracy. That description, could it be? Absolutely. I would go with the other description over that one, because the one where it kind of looks like a dog with mange is the more kind of believable, because we know, and I'm not saying that the chupacabra is a dog with mange, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying this is how it was described in the descriptions that they were giving of what they saw. So with that, it turns into this, how do I want to say, it becomes a little more believable that somehow this animal, cryptid creature, has become sick with the mange, and we all know that. We've seen dogs that just be completely eat up in mange and be miserable and suffering. Could there be a deformity of the body, of the blood system, of the digestive tract, where this animal needs blood? Certainly. Now, you get into the fantasy world when you start talking about it drinking the blood, but again, these are the reports. So we have to take this one with a grain of salt. And in doing research, there's not a lot to research. I mean, there's stories, unlike with Bigfoot and all of the other ones, there are eyewitness reports in Texas. And one of those is a lady in Texas. And again, I'm not going to go into names and all that stuff here, because I want you guys to be able to go research this and enjoy it for yourself. But she claims that she caught a live chupacabra. Now, I will try to get a still photo of the chupacabra to put up right here, of the one that she caught in real life in a cage. She swears up and down that it is in fact chupacabra. And guys, I'm going to tell you, in this cage, this thing looks like a dog with mange. I'm not going to lie to you. But she claims that she had footage of this creature attacking her livestock and drinking the blood. So she was able to capture it, to trap it alive. Now, I can't put the clip up because of copyright reasons, but I am going to try to get a still from it. But again, I'm not trying to do big time editing, because I'm just a guy with a single camera trying to shoot content for y'all to enjoy. But what I'm doing with this whole series and what I've done, and of course now you're on episode 5, you're on Casenjo. For this particular series, this is the final episode. What I've been trying to do is just to open your imagination up, give you something to go investigate for yourself, and then that way you can decide if there's something there. You can decide if it's a valid cryptid or if it's just make-believe. But you know, again, the chupacabra there's just such a wide spectrum of discrepancies between how some people describe it than how others describe it. You know, there was a television series a little while back called Monster Quest, and they did one on the lizard man, and I think it was in North Carolina. That might be coming in a future episode of Cryptids of North America. But they had claimed that the lizard man was in fact chupacabra. Now, I don't know how, I never did follow the thread of reasoning that led them to say that. I never did understand it. I kind of thought personally myself that it was just they were shooting in the dark, so to speak. Alright, guys. But yeah, that's a real shot in the dark. And here's where the problem with chupacabra comes in. As much as it is a popular cryptid, I'm going to say the chupacabra ranks up there pretty high with Sasquatch as being one of the most popular cryptids in America. When you get varying details, meaning varying descriptions, you get varying locations, when you start changing a lot of the features, then people start shying away from it, because you always want to go with the initial reports. That's why I say the initial report, the first report, which was the dog with mange, that would be the report I would go with, because that was the first report. And in my research and doing this kind of stuff, I have found that is usually the right report. That's usually, the first one is the right one. Now, the report about the scales and the spikes on the back and head and stuff, even though it is labeled as chupacabra, they could have been seeing something that wasn't, and they were just misidentified. Now, if you go to the hard-nosed skeptic, they're going to tell you every cryptid in North America is just a misidentified animal. I don't buy that. We've already been down that road. I don't buy that. But in as much as I want to put a lot of belief into chupacabra, I still have that little bit of hesitation. But in the last episode of Cryptids of North America, you will remember me saying that the Sasquatch and the Halloween night cryptid were the two that I lent the most validity to. And I went on to give, now I believe they're all valid. I believe they're all have valid points to them, so don't misconstrue that I don't believe in the other cryptids on this list, because that's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that my background with Sasquatch. I explained to you why I felt he was valid. Now, I will explain to you why I think chupacabra is valid. This goes back probably, late 90s. No, it would have been early 2000s. But I had a friend who was a film guy. He loved shooting film. And he went to Texas. And when he came back with a piece of footage on a VHS-C tape. And if you guys remember, the VHS-C was the small, like VCR tape, but it was a micro tape. It was a VHS-C tape. But he had it, and it was one of the 60-minute tapes. But there was only about, I don't know, probably 2 minutes and 35 seconds to close to 3 minutes of footage on this tape. And one day he showed me the footage on the tape. And in questioning, he said it had been given to him by his girlfriend, or not his girlfriend, but his buddy's girlfriend in Texas. It wasn't the original tape, but it was a dubbed over copy, and they said that her dad, his friend's girlfriend's dad, had recorded this thing in Texas because they had captured it. Now, I don't know where that tape is today. I don't know what he did with that tape. I don't know. I've never been able to find a copy of it online, meaning that I have kind of scanned YouTube and other platforms and have never been able to see what he showed me that night on that tape. So what he showed me, like I said, it was 2 minutes 35 seconds, maybe 3 minutes of a creature in a cage. And the description, and the reason I said I would go with the first description, because the description, that was what I was looking at in this cage. So, leathery skin, no hair, skinny, looking like a canine. And what they did next sent chills up and down my spine. And y'all can't see it on camera, but I've actually got goosebumps just thinking about it right now. I've never shared this with anybody. So what I'm sharing with you guys right here is the first time I've ever told anybody about this. But it was that creature, and what the girl's dad had done, he put a live chicken in the cage with this thing. And guys, this creature took its paws, flattened the chicken out on the cage, and at about the neck, just below the head, this creature bit down, and you could actually hear this creature sucking the blood out of this chicken. It went, you could actually hear it slurping the blood out of this chicken, and then it cut off. And I looked at him and I said, what in God's name is that? Me, you know, understanding I didn't know Chupacabra. That was a southern Mexican, southern Texas, Mexico, Puerto Rico cryptid. I didn't know what it was. And he told me, he said they call it the Chupacabra. Now, up until that point, most of the stuff I'd heard about the Chupacabra was that it was like a small bear. They kept describing it as like a small bear. But the one that I saw on that tape was, I would say it was probably about the size of a gray wolf, because when they put that chicken in the cage, the strength in its two paws laid that chicken down, and that chicken couldn't fight. And then when it bit, you heard the neck break, and then he started sucking the blood. And as they were recording this thing doing this, it never took its eyes off of the camera. It watched the camera the whole time, and I'm telling you guys, it had that motion glare in its eyes, like a deer, or like and it was pink. The eyes were pink, and it sent chills up my spine, guys. And I never questioned Brian on who gave it to him. I never questioned him after that what he did with the video. It wasn't none of my business, because to be honest with you, I saw it and I never wanted to see it again. Now, could it have been a hoax? Absolutely. It could have been nothing more than a hoax. But do I think it was a hoax? No. And I'll tell you why. Because it wasn't robotic in its movements. It didn't look puppeteer. It looked like a real animal in a cage biting on a chicken. So it was very spooky. It was very spooky, and I'm going to be honest with you guys, like I said, I have scoured the internet, so that video hasn't turned up anywhere else. And like I said, Brian's no longer with us now. We lost Brian, been several years ago, to a freak accident. But he would not have shown me that and told me that to trick me without telling me, hey, got you good, ha ha ha, and then we would have laughed about it and had a chuckle. He never did that. Because Brian was a great guy. Brian was a prankster, but Brian would never mislead you. So when he came back from Texas, he came to where I worked, because he worked there with me. He showed me this piece of footage, and that's why I can say to you today that for Halloween night's cryptid, the Chupacabra, with my own eyes I saw that, and I can say as a witness to what I witnessed, as it was with Sasquatch, what I seen is what I seen. But being able to see it with my own two eyes is what helps me to say to you that I think they are the most valid ones that I have seen. I've seen other stuff, don't get me wrong. But when I saw other stuff, sometimes I left myself, I was questioning what I really saw. Not that night at my house when this thing came face to face with me, and not that afternoon at the furniture store when I watched that piece of clip, that footage with Brian. I really felt like I was watching the genuine artifact, the real McCoy, if you will. Oh man, guys, Chupacabra, Halloween night. I know we're riding down the road on a sunny day and you say, T-Mom, it can't be Halloween. Go outside, look up in the sky and see it's Halloween. But that's it, guys. 5 episodes, Rolling with T-Bone presents the Cryptids of North America. Man, I'll tell you what, guys, we made it to the end of this current series of Rolling with T-Bone presents Cryptids of North America. Now, of course, tonight being Halloween night, I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me. I hope I was able to make a live premiere out of this. You know, so I am going to take a few minutes, seeing as how this is the last episode, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the direction of Rolling with T-Bone. Now, y'all have seen over these episodes how excited I get about talking about these cryptids. So that tells you some of the direction that I am going to be taking Rolling with T-Bone. I am going to, like I said in the past, maybe once a month, maybe twice a month. It's just according to how the mood hits me. I am going to be doing sorry about covering the camera, guys, other episodes of Cryptids of North America. But I think the changes that are coming to Rolling with T-Bone, I think they are needed. As I said way back, several videos, the research, and of course it's a natural. It's a natural. I love motorcycles. I love cryptids and cryptozoology and all that stuff. So I thought, what better than to marry the two things together that I love. Now I'm not going to say it's always going to be cryptids, but going to name names. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to put anybody on Front Street. But they did message me through this course of this and said that, man, if this is the direction that you're going to take your channel, then I'm not going to be able to stay with you and follow you. Hey, that's fine, brother. You do you. I know this isn't for everybody. As I have said 1,000 times, or well, 300 something times in videos, I'm not right for everybody. I get that. I understand that. I am not mad at that. I'm not one of these people who believes that everybody should have to like me, because I know I'm not for everyone. But yes, I am going to be doing some of this on my channel, but this isn't going to be the complete direction of my channel. I'm still going to be doing regular moto content, but I am going to make this a viable part of my channel because it's something that I love. And I feel like the true ones, the real ones who are here watching my videos, you're here because you're reacting to me doing stuff that I love. Riding the motorcycle, riding in the mountains, being able to go to different events and meet people, you're there because you're entertained and you enjoy coming along with me on those adventures. So what the cryptids are, they're another chapter in the thick, long book of Rolling with T-Bone. They're another chapter in the book of T-Bone. Another thing that I really enjoy. Now, I know somebody had said something a little while back about me being a wrestler and that I should talk more about wrestling stuff, and I may do that at some point. But right now, I'm really excited for this, for the cryptid stuff. And man, y'all guys know I love Halloween. I love this time of year. I hate to see wintertime come, but it's an inevitable part of life. We have to deal with it. We have to go through it. But I just want you guys to know, and like I said, brother, getting back to you, I understand if you have to leave my channel, if you no longer want to support it, that is totally fine. You're not, and I'm not trying to be a smart ass when I say this, but you're not hurting my feelings either way. But I gotta do what's true to me. Does that make sense? I gotta be true to myself. If I'm not enjoying what I'm putting out, that's going to bleed through. And y'all heard me say that several episodes ago, that if I'm not having fun doing the content that I'm doing, then that's going to bleed through the camera onto you guys, and you guys are going to know that I'm not enjoying myself. That's where I wanted to be. Again, I'm making a footprint for my kids, and I always say that, for my kids and my grandkids. But I do, at my core, in my heart of hearts, I do want you guys to enjoy what I'm doing. I do want you guys to be entertained by it. And I just want you guys to, when a notification pops up that, hey, Rolling with T-Bone, you come in and you watch the video and you're part of the Rolling with T-Bone crew, and it's coming across to you guys that I'm out here having a blast doing what I'm doing. And I want it to always be understood that I want you guys to have a blast doing what you love to do. We're not all going to shoot the same kind of content. We're not all going to cover the same types of stuff in our, in our videos. But do what you love. Put it out there, and people will enjoy it. And I tell you what, guys, this series is in the bag. This is the last episode for the Cryptids of North America. Thank you guys for coming along, joining me, going with me from week to week. I'm sorry if it seems like it was low production, but I couldn't put a lot of clips in and pictures and movie clips and different this and that because of copyright stuff, because I was really being scrutinized, and I found out on the episode 1, on the Mothman episode, and again on the Jersey Devil episode, that YouTube takes their copyright stuff deadly serious. But y'all keep your eyes open for the first regular episode of Rolling with T-Bone. I'm not sure exactly when that'll be coming out. Hopefully it'll be the Monday following this episode, but if not, I've already talked to you guys about that, and you understand where I'm at in life. But I hope you get to see the new opening soon. I hope you get to see the new ending. Remember, even after I say thanks for watching, don't click off of the videos right then, because you'll see what I'm doing with the Forgotten Angels information at the end of each one of my videos. But guys, that's it. It's in the bag, and I'm freezing to death. But I'll tell you what, guys, I am going to get this edited out, uploaded, and ready to go for Halloween night. But guys, thank you from the bottom of my heart for all of the encouragement, for the excitement for this series, for the great comments that you've left. And until the next time, guys, y'all take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and hey, thanks for watching.